talk the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
I'm going to be talking a little bit in code today because if you watch my channel and you watch my live, yes.
Is the plane going down? Are we going to die? Why are you saying I'm sorry?
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm the Housewife Historian. You can call me Lindsay, and today we're talking Real Housewives of New Jersey. One side of my hair is fuller than the other. I just can't even right now. Anyway, guys, it was a big day for me today. I was doing a little bit of research, of course, this morning, even though we didn't have any housewives because of the Super Bowl. So we didn't get a Potomac, and we'll be getting a New Jersey on Tuesday, but David from Behind the Velvet Rope, he does a podcast on YouTube. If you guys don't know, I'm sure you probably do. And he has Kim D on every Saturday. And say what you will about Kim D, there are two things that are very true about Kim D. And one of those is that she gets the tea. She gets the job done. She knows people. She's lived there her whole life, guys. She has a store. She has friends. She's been running in these circles for years and years. Okay. So Kim D knows what she's talking about. And then they always talk, of course, about New Jersey. But the second thing that rings true about Kim D that I want to mention is that I was reading this, it was this old blog and it was about New Jersey and it was from like 2011. That's how old it was. And it quoted Kim D as saying, "I run with the big dogs." And I almost started laughing out loud because I thought that was so funny that even 10 years ago, Kim D was telling us that she runs with the big dogs. And so it rings true. Anyway, guys, before we get started, though, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Turn your notifications on. It really makes a difference. We are going to be talking. I want to play you guys the clip from Behind the Velvet Rope. And like I said, guys, you can check out him and Kim D's podcast. He does a lot of interviews. I've talked about them before with you guys. He did Anna from the Real Housewives of Miami. He had her and her daughter on. And I really thought that was a good episode. I remember telling you guys about that. Some of you went and listened to it and then DM'd me. So hopefully my volume's up. Okay, let's see here.
Lying, the stories do stick. The stories do stick.
Yes, they do.
People are still. I mean, I just saw on that one blog. I don't know if it was like buy drama, hello wig, or buy wig, hello drama. I think that our Housewife Historian, someone's like, and here's the exact timeline of how Melissa cheated and David on Behind the Rope.
I can't. I saw that.
I'm like, oh Jesus. I'm like, Margaret just hates me. But listen, like, just like
we don't care.
Just like you, Dolores, I have to speak my truth. That is what I am doing. I am not going to be one of these people on the show that crafts the story. Yeah. I'm not. I'm not living my life like that. This is much easier. I'm just going to tell the truth. And if you're my friend, I disagree with you. Will you disagree with me?
Oh, God. Listen, I don't think Dolores can be mad at me for what I said. She knows I speak the truth, and I'm not saying she's a bad.
Okay, so a little bit of context, guys. Melissa Gorga did an interview with People magazine, and Melissa, amateur mistake for her. She should have known better, but she mentioned Kim D, and she's saying that nothing sticks. Like, all these rumors are getting thrown out here, but nothing sticks, right? So Melissa Gorga, 5 days ago, she does People magazine. The title is Melissa Gorga says filming new season of Real Housewives in New Jersey took a heavy toll on her husband, Joe. He just couldn't fake it. Melissa Gorga tells People magazine that she kept trucking. They put that in quotation. They kept trucking on during filming for season 13 while her husband was upset for a lot of reasons and had to take breaks amid the ongoing feud with Teresa Giudice. Melissa Gorga is now getting candid about the impact of filming the newest season of The Real Housewives of New Jersey on her husband, Joe Gorga. The 43-year-old reality star tells people that she kept trucking on during filming while her husband often needed to take breaks amid their long-standing feud with Teresa Giudice. People magazine quotes her as saying, I think Joe was like, I'm out. Joe was sitting in the corner. He just couldn't fake it. He was very heavy mind this season. He's upset for a lot of reasons that you really don't hear until the end. So we're not faking it here. But were you faking it all the other times? Is that why you keep telling us that he's not faking it? Like, you're like, we may have faked it every other season, but this season, we couldn't even try to fake it. She says, imagine, he couldn't even bring himself to a lot of the events. He was like, I'm good. Melissa also shares how it was not easy to deal with their ongoing family drama in front of cameras. Quote, we don't wish this on anyone. This is not the fun part, if I'm being honest, because I'm usually not honest, but this time I'm going to be honest with you guys. Sorry. She says, part is not fun. I'm going to be honest. It's just not. I don't know why it has to be this way. I always say that. I feel like I could have gone completely a different way, but we don't control everything. There are two sides. The reality star notes that she's been watching The Real Housewives of New Jersey since she joined in season 3. But current season is one of the tougher ones for her to watch. It, quote, it's equal to probably season 3, which was the toughest. I feel like we've gone backwards, unfortunately, and for family reasons as far as that goes. So it always makes it a little bit tougher because that's where it gets sad, and nobody wants to do sad. We didn't put sad in our storyline this season. Over the years, Joe and Melissa have hit some rocky patches in their relationship with Teresa, 50 years old. Some of the tension stemmed from legal troubles that Teresa and her ex-husband Joe faced over their years. Why did they put that in there? That makes me feel like that's not why you guys had trouble. It wasn't because of Joe Giudice's legal issues. Let me read that again. Maybe I misinterpreted it. Some of the tension stems from the legal trouble that Teresa and her ex-husband faced years ago, while more recent drama was centered around Teresa's treatment of the couple. Yo, none of that had anything to do with Melissa and Joe. In fact, if you are anyone that really, really follows the blogs or anything, you guys know the rumors about a house in the family that was used as collateral by Melissa's husband, allegedly, and the business deal went bad and things went really bad and it caused tension in their family. And this was allegedly around the time that Joe Giudice was trying to move his in-laws into their house. He was like building them a loft above their garage. And it was alleged that Joe Gorga was so, even though his parents didn't have anywhere to stay, he called zoning on Joe Giudice for the building, because they live out in New Jersey. And when you build stuff or you add a garage or a loft or something like that, you have to get permits. And so if not, they come out and shut you down until you file for the permit and pay money, and then you're in trouble for building without the permit. And it's a whole process, and it can take time, and it puts your project behind. But the project was for his own parents to move into Teresa and Joe's because allegedly they didn't have anywhere else, right? So it's really weird to me that this is put in the People magazine article because Teresa and Joe's legal issues, there was tension because they were under a lot of stress, but I don't remember that causing tension between Joe and Teresa. I remember there being tension when they come on the show, right? Because when they came on the show, they already came on and there was a lot of drama about how they came on. And then there was the drama between Jacqueline and Teresa, and of course the Christine and Melissa and Melissa's family. Melissa, you guys, if you haven't been if you're not an avid Real Housewives of New Jersey and you've never fully watched the Real Housewives of New Jersey seasons 1, 2, and 3, I need you to please do that. Please skip through some episodes because Melissa used to bring her sisters to events, like, all the time, right? So that kind of left Teresa feeling a little bit out of place because here she is filming the show, and Melissa's basically coming in with an entourage of two older sisters and her mom. Um, Nothing bad about them, just saying that for Teresa to kind of be on her own and be tensions between Melissa and Joe, and then for Melissa always to bring her whole family to events. I'm sure that Teresa was uncomfortable, right? And we know from rumors and just from seeing the show that eventually Bravo said, no more. You can't bring your family on here. Like, and there's been lots of rumors why. There was rumors that they were taking backdoor promotional deals, releasing storylines and information, and just kind of like causing a lot of chaos amongst producers and everyone as well. So that's why sadly we don't ever see them film. They're there a lot of the times, just like when Joe and Melissa threw that big party at their Jersey Shore house. The season, I don't know if it was the last season. It must have been because it was the season that Louis was on. And Teresa's mom or Melissa's mom and sisters were there. They just weren't filmed. So something to keep in mind. Anyways, in May, Teresa and her younger brother got into an explosive fight during the season 12 reunion after Teresa called Joe a bitch boy, and they put that in quotation. So noted that Melissa is making sure everyone knows that Teresa called her brother a bitch boy and dismissively compared himself to a housewife. The argument got so intense between the two siblings that Joe walked off the stage threatening to quit the Bravo franchise. Tensions only intensified between the siblings backstage as they continued to go back and forth, prompting the host and the franchise executive producer Andy Cohen to step in. Teresa later claimed she had apologized and mended things with her brother, but that was only the start of what was to come between the two of them. In August, people confirmed that the Gorgas won't be at Teresa and Louis' wedding. By that point, Teresa had already confirmed that Melissa was not a bridesmaid in the wedding. Two sources said Melissa and Joe backed out of attending 2 days before the ceremony when false rumors about their marriage surfaced amid filming. Both Teresa and Louis' actions at the time ultimately influenced the decision. Quote, Teresa betrayed them in a way that's unforgivable, one source said. They're not going to celebrate Teresa's new marriage when all she does is tear them apart. So that's just from a random source. We don't know anything about them. For the Gorgas part, they haven't directly addressed the rumors, but have spoken publicly about skipping the wedding, with Melissa telling people in BravoCon that it's unfortunate that they had to miss the nuptials, and she didn't choose it. Really? You did it? The people also addressed their decision to skip the nuptials on Melissa Gorga on Display podcast. So she made sure to throw her podcast in there to get some recognition and press. Podcast confirmed that the full entire story leading to the tension amongst the family was not public knowledge at the time, but drips and drabs of it have surfaced. Joe added it was so hard for him to not attend Teresa's wedding, especially since she's his only close family member that's alive. To me, it's devastating. It really was. It was one of the hardest days of my life. It was bad. But listen, go back to the reunion. She did this, this was all on her. This is what she really wanted. She didn't want Melissa in the wedding. She didn't want any of my children in the wedding. She barely wanted me. Really? Because I think she was like really upset when you didn't come. I don't know. I'm just saying that's what People Magazine is quoting Joe and Melissa Gorga as saying. You guys can go check it out and read it yourself. I'm like so confused where this one random source just comes in and says, what is allegedly going on behind the scenes. That kills me. I'm so sorry. But here's the issue, and this is why the timeline is so important, and this is why Kim D and David were also talking about the timeline, because allegedly what's happening is Melissa Joe is making it seem like this was a new rumor, they had never heard it, and that Teresa held on to it and then tried to expose them on TV. When in reality, the rumor was already like a year old. And after Laura Lee Jensen had allegedly had this meeting with Teresa and Jennifer, Teresa went home and spoke it over with Louis, and they felt like it was the best thing to do was to just sit down with Joe first and speak with him and just let him know. And then if he wanted to tell Melissa and Melissa had any questions, she was free to call or talk about it, whatever the case may be. But they did that. And then they didn't talk about it filming it. Oh, and allegedly what happened was Jennifer told Danielle, and then Danielle let it out at the finale. So that's allegedly what happened. And that's why Teresa was so frustrated, because like she's getting the bad rep and the bad narrative that she held on to this secret and all season long to drop it on them to try to make their marriage look bad. But in reality, the rumor, it was before filming, I think, that it even came out, because we have to remember it was Laura Lee Jensen who let the rumor out, and it's because she wasn't getting cast, not because she wasn't getting casted. I paused. She had done a couple of interviews to get casted. Her and Marge had fallen out over that. But then when she met with Jennifer and Teresa made a phone call to producers and did have another screening set up with Laura. And apparently must not have went well because they didn't decide to use her. But this is all before filming started. So the outrage of Melissa and Joe, it's not real, because they already knew about these rumors when all of this transpired. That's why her and Marge are able to put up this united front, okay? Because allegedly, there was an event recently where Nick and Melissa were both in attendance. And so people are talking about it because they have to be, guys. If they weren't, people would be whispering, right? If you have a mutual friend's birthday party and two people are accused of doing it together, and the spouses know, I don't know, like I feel like they just did it to keep face, because people would be like, well, why wasn't Nick there? Why wasn't Melissa there? This is weird. And their own spouses would probably think it's weird. Why don't you want to go, Nick? Why don't you want to go to your best friend's birthday party, Nick? Is it because Melissa's going to be there? Is that why? I swear to God, if I see you within 10 feet of that woman, oh my God. And Joe, he's probably like, woman, don't embarrass me. No, I'm just joking. Okay, guys. I just wanted to drop that again. Thank you, Kendi and David from Behind the Velvet Rope. Loving their YouTube and Patreon, and really appreciating them recognizing that post and yelling me out. I want to reshare it with you guys on YouTube. I don't know if I shared it with you to begin with, but it's definitely on my Instagram. That's why y'all should be checking out my Instagram, the Housewife Historian, and Twitter, of course, and TikTok. But yeah, I'll share it on here. And it's the timeline of how things transpired between Melissa and this alleged guy, and everything basically kind of just puts it in a timeline so that you guys, it's a little bit easier to understand, because it's confusing at first. I was confused at first, just saying. All right, guys, I hope you have a great Monday. Bye. Oh, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Turn your notifications on.